friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do my winter reading wrap up. Now I know winter just started, but these are the books that I finished at the end of 2018, kind of like November, December. I think maybe one was even in October, but I wanted to just wrap up the year, wrap up 2018 and start fresh for the new year. So this, I'm just going to call it my winter reading wrap up. And also I feel like it's been forever since I've read some of these. So I will be looking on my Goodreads for like notes and stuff like that. So I'm going to start off with a poetry collection by my friend Sabrina at Staycachino. She used to make booktube videos all the time, and then she kind of disappeared for a little bit, came back. She kind of keep coming back, but this one is called Mystic and Mundane by Sabrina Rourke, and like I said, Staycachino. I'll link her channel down below. This was like super unexpected. Like I really liked it. I ended up rating it. I was trying to be like super biased and be like, I'm not gonna rate it high if I think it sucks, but I loved this, and of course I did. Like, of course I did. So if you don't know, if you follow her Instagram, she posts poems from time to time, and I love that as well. I rated this 4 out of 5 stars. So on Goodreads, I just rounded it up to a 5. Let's see, some of my favorites. I had quite a few favorites. I said, I love the mix of ordinary and magical. It feels equal parts fairy tale and daydream. I loved the way that she used the veil to tie in the whole collection together. It's a great debut. Looking forward to more. And I need to get my copy signed, Sabrina. Or at least like a book plate or something, but I'd really like to get it signed. So I just need to go visit her so I can get this signed. And plus she's my friend and I've never met her in person, so that would be great. Okay, so I have a long list of favorites. Belief, Streetlight, We Did Believe, Turn Wild, Green Smile, Backyard Brew, Water Babies, The Prisoner's Fruit, Amid the Crown, 3x3, McMansion, Subdivision, Avalon, Marie, Brush the Moss Off, Lunchroom 1 and 2, True North, If I Could Build a Boy, Inherited Mysteries, and it gets dark and creepy, window shopping, and like butter. So I definitely recommend this if you're looking for like a short poetry collection. If that's something you want to read in the new year, I highly recommend this one. Okay, next up I read If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, and I loved this. I was so obsessed with this, and I listened to this on audiobook, and I thought that was a really good option because they do have a lot of kind of Shakespeare bits throughout, and it was just really nice, but it was set up like scenes, so it would be like scene 1, scene 2, and it's basically following the story of a group of friends as they're in college, like to be actors. They're all thespians, and it's kind of 10 years. They're telling the story like 10 years ago, and Oliver is one of the 7 Shakespearean actors at a classical conservatory, and one of the friends ends up dying, and Oliver is telling the story to the detective that was on the case, and you're kind of finding out how everything happened. But just like the years of friendship and like their love of Shakespeare and the mystery and just kind of everything, loved this, highly recommend. I got my copy from Book Outlet, so I don't know if they have any copies or anything. I got it a while ago, but yes, highly recommend this one, especially when it retails for $25.99, and I got it for like a steal on Book Outlet. I rated this 5 out of 5 stars. I read another 5-star book, and that was All These Beautiful Strangers by Elizabeth. I'm not sure how to say the last name, but this is a beautiful cover. I was kind of in, you'll see, I've been kind of in like a mystery thriller, psychological thriller mood. It kind of started with this one, and then I actually was reading this and then received this, so then like in the middle of reading this I stopped and read this one. So All These Beautiful Strangers is about this secret society club type thing, and Claire, I believe her name was, yes, Claire is wanting to join because it's this really exclusive type thing, but while she's doing that they have to do these interesting tasks, and amidst all that she's trying to find out what happened to her mother, because one day her mother just like kind of up and vanished, and the story goes that it was like the father or you know, something like that, but people start coming back into her life that give her kind of clues about what might have happened, and more about her father. And while she's going to school, she finds out like someone had died when her father was still in school, so they're trying to figure out what happened with that. I don't know, it's a slow read because it has like a lot of elements to it, and it took me a while to read, but I was enjoying every second of it. It's one of those like drawn out stories that has like so many layers that it's just like too much to talk about, but highly recommend this one as well. 5 stars. And then I read Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris in one sitting. This book was completely addictive. I didn't buy this for myself. My friend actually picked this up for me, and I did a whole reading vlog of this, which I will link down below and in the cards if you are interested. But this book is about, the title just kind of says it all. It's basically about, you know, you never know what happens at individuals, like there's like a perfect couple, but you never know the difficulties and the things going on in that relationship when the door closes. When you're not there, when you're not around them, you don't really know the true story that goes on behind closed doors. So there's this seemingly perfect couple, super beautiful people, and there's a lot more going on that meets the eye. It was super creepy. Jack and Grace are the couple, and my friend, like I said, got me this, and I was like, I had never heard of this author before, but I remember like hearing something about the author or like the books on BookTube, so I wanted to just like check out the writing, and I immediately read it cover to cover, and I was not expecting that at all. So I just came home on a Friday night, started reading, and I didn't let up until I was done. So yeah, he has looks and wealth, she has charm and elegance, he's a dedicated attorney who's never lost a case, she is a flawless homemaker, a masterful gardening cook, and dotes on her disabled younger sister. But it's difficult because there's something going on, and like friends are trying to find out what's going on, but the Grace and Jack are never apart, so you can't like get like the true story. I don't know. This was I could not put this down. I was going to say unputtable down. What am I saying? Anyway, I loved this so much. So my friend Erin gave it to me. I loaned this copy out to Eileen. Eileen read it and has already returned it. Our other friend Carrie read it as well. Like everybody is obsessed with this and says it's like a super fast-paced read. So if you're looking for something psychological thriller that's fast-paced, definitely recommend this one. I kept on it and I picked up A Stranger in the House by Shari LaPena. And I picked this book up because I read The Couple Next Door. I'm pretty sure that's the one. Because I read The Couple Next Door and it sounded really good. Actually, when I went to the bookstore, I saw this one and I pulled this off and I read this one and I said, oh, she's the author of the other book. So I read that one first, really liked it, and I read this one. I think I rated this a 3 stars. So yeah, back to this. Behind Closed Doors, obviously 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. Highly recommend. And then this one I rated 3 stars just because like it was good, but when you read a lot of this genre, you kind of start seeing like patterns in stories and nothing shocks you anymore. So you really have to kind of do something out of the box for it to be really good. And this one was okay. It's a present you can't remember, a past that won't let you go. You're home making dinner for your husband. You expect him any second. The phone rings. It's a call you hope you never get. You jump in your car and race to a neighborhood you thought you'd never visit. You peer into the dark, deserted building. You brace yourself for the worst. After that, you remember nothing. You tell your husband you've been in an accident. You lost control of your car as you sped through the roughest part of town. So the story opens with this lady getting a call. She rushes out. The husband gets home. She's not there. He doesn't know what's going on, and you're trying to piece together what happened because like there's this whole amnesia thing going on and stuff like that. But also like her past, she's being a little it seems like she's hiding some things from her past or something like that. But 3 stars. And then because I loved this so much, I decided to go ahead and get the other 2 books that were published by B.A. Paris. And the next one is The Breakdown, and the most recent one is Bring Me Back. Now, these were not as good as Behind Closed Doors, so if you're looking of like where to start with B.A. Paris, I would definitely start with Behind Closed Doors. Because this was just like amazing in my book. But these two, not as good, but still good enough that I'm going to continue to buy books from this author. So I'll talk about The Breakdown, and The Breakdown actually has like two connotations. A woman that takes a shortcut through the woods to get home that she's always promised her husband she would never do because it's like dangerous through there, but she did, and she sees this woman put on the side of the road and it's like storming out, so she tries to stop, but she doesn't really stop, but she kind of sees her face. And then the next day on the news she finds out that this woman was brutally murdered, and she just happens to know the person that it is. So she kind of just can't get this whole thing off of her mind, like it's consuming her every thought. But at the same time, like weird things start happening. She starts forgetting things, she starts misplacing things, and you just know that like something weird is afoot. And I kind of guessed like what was going to happen, but I didn't know how it was going to be revealed. And I did like the reveal and everything. I just wish I wouldn't have guessed what was actually going on. So a little predictable, and I rated this one 3 stars. I picked up the third book hoping that I would love it as much as Closed Doors, but I gave this one a 3 stars as well. This one kind of reminds me a little bit of Gone Girl in like the premise of the story, but obviously not as good as Gone Girl. This is about Finn and Layla, and they're young and in love. They stop at this like service station on the way home from vacation, and Finn goes to the bathroom and he comes back and Layla has disappeared. And you know that you're not getting the full truth, because as Finn's telling the story, he says like, that's what I told the police, but that's not the real full, like that's not the full truth. So you're kind of like going back and forth between like what happened to Layla and what is he not telling us and stuff like that. So yeah, so now he is getting remarried. So it's been a while. Now he's getting married to Layla's sister, and again, weird things start happening. Like there's this little Russian doll that keeps appearing, and that was like a thing that Layla had, like, so they always connected it with Layla. So this one not as good as Behind Closed Doors, but still pretty enjoyable. And then the last book that I'm going to talk to you about here today is Bad Mommy by Tarryn Fisher. This is the first book that I've read by Tarryn Fisher. It's about this woman that is obsessed with this couple and their daughter and basically the life that they lead. And so she starts, I think it starts with either the mother or the daughter, but after she kind of like puts everything together, like look at their house, look at the couple, look at the daughter, she decides to buy the house next door to these people because it's for sale. And she befriends them, and she starts basically copying everything that the woman does and trying to be closer to the husband, basically trying to like take over the wife's role. And it's really interesting. It keeps you on the edge of your seat because like you know it's building up to something, but you don't quite know what it's building up to necessarily. And let's see what I rated this one. I rated this one 4 stars just because I was expecting a little bit more of an explosive ending than I got, but it was a very interesting, especially like the, I think it was an epilogue, or I don't know if it was just like the last chapter. Yeah, I think it was just like the last chapter, and yeah, it's, I don't know, it was just kind of crazy. But yeah, I was definitely expecting a more explosive ending, and I still got a satisfying ending, but just not as like dramatic or like, you know, as I wanted. But these are the books that I read. Out of all the ones that I've read, I would highly recommend these 3 novels. So If We Were Villains, very good, like friendship story, like in college, Shakespearean, which may not sound interesting, but it was totally interesting. And then if you're looking for like a slower, I mean, this is a pretty hefty book as well, but All These Beautiful Strangers, many layers to the story, mystery elements woven in, and I really liked that one. And then Behind Closed Doors, I think you would read this in like one sitting, and it's like 320 some pages, so highly recommend that one. And if you're looking for a poetry collection, the only one I read was Mystic and Mundane recently, but I really loved it, so check it out and support my friend Sabrina. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. I have lots of more videos planned. I need to go ahead and film my book haul for the end of the year as well. And some of them are ones that I've already read, like Mystic and Mundane, Behind Closed Doors. I don't know if I don't think Bad Mommy was one. What else was? So I think The Breakdown and Bring Me Back were one. So all of these are also part of my haul for the last couple of months, but I will do that in a separate video. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.